Today we're going to talk about Season 2, Episode 6 of Dawson's Creek. It's called The Dance. It's about my favorite thing, which is a high school dance, because anytime you see a high school dance in TV or movies, it's never how I've experienced a high school dance in my life. I only went to a homecoming dance once. This is supposed to be a homecoming dance. Sophomore year of high school. With my friend Lindsay, I was extremely uncomfortable going to it, and I didn't know what to wear, and I literally wore like a 3/4 length sleeve button-up shirt with like a black skirt that I wore for choir. So that's like where I'm at as far as homecoming dances. We open this episode and Pacey, Joey, Andy, Dawson are all hanging out in Dawson's room, watching Footloose, presumably, and Andy is dancing like a crazy person to Footloose, and then it's kind of like, why aren't you guys into this? Like, I personally can't wait for the homecoming dance, and everyone's like, no, we hate it. And she's like, oh, so you'd rather like watch a movie about something than experience it? And they were like, yes. And I was like, relatable, like, duh. So then we see Joey and Bessie in the car. Bessie's dropping her off at school, and Joey tells Bessie that Jack kissed her. And she's like, you didn't tell Dawson, did you? And she's like, no. And then Bessie's kind of saying, like, the only thing that matters is, like, did you kiss him back? And if you didn't, like, don't bother Dawson with this. Which, like, I actually do agree with. Like, she didn't ask for Jack to kiss her. And then the song Kiss Me starts playing. I mean, perfect. Like, the 90s are... It's so great. Especially late 90s. I mean, this is really my time. You know? I just feel so comfortable here. Christy is back. Played by Ellie Larder. So we see her again. Abby is wondering if she has fake boobs to Jen and is then telling Jen that she's going to steal Christy's boyfriend by the school dance. For some reason, Abby and Jen are just like friends again. Like it's as if the last episode never happened. Like it's just like fine. But so Abby wants to break up Christy and her boyfriend. Jen's like, that's crazy, whatever. And then in a very unsubtle bit of foreshadowing, Dawson says to Joey, like, basically promise me we'll never have a public fight like that. Like, we won't air our dirty laundry, like, in public. And she's like, of course. And then they, like, kiss. And I'm like, uh-oh. So then Joey ends up saying that she feels bad for Jen and they should invite her to the dance. Fine. I understand that we have to get all of our main people into this one episode, into this one scene, you know, like this is all building up to a dance. We got to get all the people we love there. I don't know. I feel like maybe Jen just could have gone with that. Whatever. It doesn't matter. And then Andy wants to invite Jack. And then Andy and Dawson somehow decide that they're going to try to set Jen and Jack up. I know that people make fun of Dawson's Creek for like their vocab and stuff and like the way that they speak. But my problem is this like setting people up thing. Like, that's not a thing teens do. Like, I didn't experience that. Like, anyone dating in high school was just like a very like simple thing that happened. It's like you kiss and then you're like, we're dating now. Like, the idea of being like, we're going to set these two strangers up is like, so weird and adult to me. Like, even when people do it as an adult, I don't really understand, but, like, fine. And then Dawson comes back to his house. Mitch and Gail sit him down and are like, we're separating. We're not surprised by this information. Then we see Andy and Jack. They're all ready for the dance. They're waiting on Pacey to pick them up. Andy, again, is like, of course I didn't have him come to the house. Like, that already got messed up. Jack's not into dancing, doesn't want to go to this dance. Then Dawson's ready for the dance, except he hears Gail crying in the kitchen, and then she, like, won't... It's like her back is to him, and he's like, turn around and say that. Like, again, he's just, like, behaving in a way that, like, children don't behave to their parents, especially as teens, where it's like, Mom, do you want me to stay home with you? Like, no, I'm okay, sweet. Like, first of all, also, Gail, like, it's really easy to, like, not look like you're crying. Like, literally just, like, and then turn around... And then just be like, no, have a good time, truly. Like, be strong for him. Come on. So everyone meets up at the dance. Jen's like, great, of course I agreed to this. This won't be awkward at all. And then Abby is just straight up a bitch to Jen. And I was like, what is going on with these two? Like, Abby is not a real human being at this point. Like, she literally is, like, best friends with Jen, not best friends with Jen, like, back and forth. But, like, there's no... like impulse behind it. It just kind of happens. And then she says to Jen, like, oh, I love your dress. I have one like that in a smaller size. And I'm like, what? Like, what is happening right now? You know, there's of course some like montages of teens dancing. Again, it's not like any dance I've ever attended in my life. Fine. Dawson and Andy are both being like really weird about Jack and Jen and like looking at them and being like, oh, like set this up. And then Joey gets like overly upset about it and is like, Jack is a sweet guy, Jen's a barracuda. And I'm like, wow, calm down. Like everybody let's simmer down. Like the main thing that I need all of these characters to do is like just hold a little bit inside. Like I have such repressed emotions that I can't imagine just like freely expressing so many emotions all the time. Like my face always gives stuff away, but like not my words. Like I'll be like, I'm fine. Like, you know, it's bonkers insane. Andy makes Dawson dance with her, so she's not always dancing with Jack. So Joey and Jack start trying to dance, but then they're immediately weird about it. He won't touch her. He's like, I'm sorry for kissing you. They like leave, have a fight in the hall. Then like literally like they're standing this close together and none of them realize that Dawson is right here. And so then like, he's like, I think you're not mad that I kissed you. You're mad that you kissed me back. Reveal Dawson. And then they're like, "Arr," and Joey like runs away. Andy is just like really upset with like everyone having fun. And she's like sad that like Jen is leaving. And then it's like, oh, well, Jack can walk you home. But then instead Dawson comes in and punches Jack in the face. It's not funny. And then Pacey's out in the hall with Christy. Christy, I realized her whole storyline is the song Lucky by Britney Spears, where it's like, she's so lucky, she's a star, but she cries, you know, like in her lonely heart. Like she's basically like no one wants to like really know me and like my boyfriend won't even look at me and like blah, blah, blah and all this stuff. So then they get into this whole thing where Pacey's like, of course I'm one of the people who likes you. It's like, you already know that. Like, you only know Pacey because he was trying to have sex with you. Like, that's the only reason why you know this guy, who this guy is. So obviously he likes you. It just makes no sense. She asks him to dance with her, so they're like dancing in the hallway. And then we go over to Mitch, who has just driven up to Gail's house. Oh, no. Sorry. He's called Gail just to chat. But then gets kind of weird and is like, well, you have to deal with this because this is what it is. And then later in the episode, he literally drives up to the house just to like spy on her and then drives away. I'm like, Andy sees Pacey and Christy like dancing in the hallway. They've been dancing for like, I don't know, 55 minutes at this point. And then it's like, ugh, this is awkward. She runs away. Joey sees Dawson leave the dance, tries to stop him. They get into this huge fight. They realize it's a public fight. As we foreshadowed, Dawson leaves. Whew. Jen gets dropped off by Jack at home. They're like sweet. She's like, thanks for pretending like you didn't want to be with another girl. Like basically Jen is like, oh, you like Joey too. Great. Which is sad. And then Pacey tries to tell Andy like, don't worry, Christy, it's just a fantasy. So I'm like, huh, that doesn't work. And then he asks Andy why she even likes him. And then she lists like 100 nice things. And then she's like, this is more than you deserve, which like, yeah, you should have realized that like long ago into your list. Like, don't give him this right now. Whatever. But then they like kiss and it's very sweet. Andy is so sweet and Dawson comes home, finds Joey crying in his room. And then it's like, she's basically like, my dream was always you. And now I have you. And now I'm like, I have nothing else. Which is the saddest idea. I mean, that's just like such a bummer. And then she's like, I need to find like my thing, my passion, like on my own. It can't be related to you, which is what we've been building up to for the last few episodes with her art interest. He's not interested in her art interest, you know, like, which is kind of also what happens on Friends, to take it back to that, because, you know, he is not interested in fashion. She has someone who is. He's like, oh, he likes you. She's like, no. I mean, that's exactly what's happening with Joey and Jack. We'll get to that. And then he like throws all the stuff around and then like we see Joey running away. And that's the end of the episode. But the next episode is the all-nighter, which is literally one of my favorite episodes of all time. And another secret fantasy of mine of having to do a project up all night just with your friends, just kind of fucking around. Okay, bye.